Hello, my super friends. Welcome to your super new moon in Scorpio reading. This is going to be happening on November 4th. It's going to be at its newest at 3:14 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So wherever you're at in the world, you can adjust that to see where that is going to be at its newest for you. Now, normally new moons are all about the newness because it's starting the new cycle, but with it being Scorpio, there is this extra rebirth energy that is around it. So you've got, your birth, your death, and your rebirth. It's like like a phoenix. You know how they originally rise from the ashes and grow, and then they build a nest to set on fire and things to go back to ashes and have a rebirth. And that is very Scorpio-ish because Scorpio is all about transformation. They transform from a scorpion to a snake to an eagle to a phoenix. So they're very transformative, and so that energy is really around this. It's like this, with the new moon, there's hardly any light. So it does feel a little dark during the new moon, but it is a time that we face our shadow. So it's our little shadow time where we get to dance with our shadow and understand, about what is blocking us, what is chaining us, what's holding us back. So with this new moon, we also get a burst of new energy with that rebirth. So as that phoenix takes flight on a new journey with that super new moon energy, it is a very magical time for us as well. So even though it feels dark, when you rise from the ashes and that phoenix catches on fire, right? And it shows the flames coming from its wings, and you are this brightness in that dark times. You get to see your inner light more and more when it's dark out, not when it's bright sun shining out, right? What's amazing too is the last full moon we had in Scorpio was back in April 26th, and that was a pink super full moon. And so there's also this cycle that happens just monthly. We go through the cycle of the new moon to the full moon back to the new moon, but also over a 6-month period ish, you go from a new moon in a sign to a full moon in a sign back to a new moon in a sign. So you have this big cycle of energy that are happening, these 12 different cycles that are happening throughout a year, actually, right? Because every 6 months you go through this different sign of new moon to full moon. And so you have these 12 separate annual cycles happening with each of those influences of those zodiac signs. So if you look back around April 26th to really look at that pink super full moon, what was going on then was a time of releasing negative energy. So I was talking about like a dance with your shadow. You were becoming familiar with it because you were dancing with it, seeing it eye to eye, right? And during that time, you see what no longer serves you. And so you started to let go of things and making room for new things. Because after a full moon, as you're moving to the new moon, once you reach that culmination of a full moon, then it's like, what am I releasing to make room for new growth when the new moon comes around? So with this new moon in Scorpio happening, you are left dancing with your shadow, and you get to see what's new. What new dance steps are you going to develop as you begin a new dance routine over the next 6 months. So as we go into this reading, we're kind of going to look at what has my feet chained, what's keeping me from dancing so fluently, what's impacting my rhythm. So that's what we're going to look at for the specific reading for your sign, and we're going to jump into that right now. All right, all my Aquarians, welcome to your super new moon in Scorpio reading. And I realized that I didn't even talk about why this new moon is super and why the full moon in April was super. It all has to do with the moon's orbit around the Earth. It's not this perfect round orbit. It's more of this oval. So, there's times where, the moon is furthest away from the Earth, and then there's times when it's the closest to the Earth. And when it's closest to the Earth and we have the new moon or the full moon, that's when it's a super new moon or super full moon. So the energy is more, impacting us more and more maximized since we're so close to it with that moon energy. And also the veil between this realm and the other realm is thinner as well. So you're able to hear the messages from above with more clarity and hear more of them because we're aware of them more clearly as well. So I love that. That's no test will happen. At least you know where the superness comes from with the super new moon. And I did mention, of course, this is a magical time. So we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Magic of Unicorns Oracle cards. And this is just going to be what the Creator wants you to know about the new moon in general. For this, like a 3-week period around the new moon, the week before the new moon, and 2 weeks after the new moon up to when the next full moon happens. And this will also, like we were talking about, whatever information the Creator wants us to know about what chains are on your feet, keeping you from developing that new dance, and what's limiting your rhythm, and it's just to give you any guidance on that as well. Right, there we go. All right, Creator, for our Aquarians, what do you want them to know about this new moon, the super new moon in Scorpio? Not all those, don't worry. All right, good. Make it really, really obvious for us. Yeah, that one almost caught on fire. There you go. Enter the magic. Live in the now. Seize the moment. I love that. Look at that beautiful card there. Yeah, definitely. So not living in the moment is what is, chaining you and limiting your rhythm because, it's like I'm seeing in my mind dancing, if you're focusing on all these other steps that you're going to get, and you're not focused on the step you're on, you trip and you fall, right? It's like you're stumbling because you're not focusing on this step now, this step now, this step now, this step now, instead of thinking about, I've got all these other steps I have to do. So really this is about focusing on this moment is what helps you with this rhythm and this flow and creating this new dance of your life. So I am loving this. Let's take a look here, see what other message comes from this. Says the past is over and the future is a clean slate. The present moment is the most important there will ever be in your life. The thoughts and feelings you have and the decisions you take this very instant will create your future. So this is an alchemical time of all possibilities, right? A time of alchemy. In this magical second, you can decide to receive the happiness you deserve. Your guidance is to ask your unicorns to hold you in a now moment. Use it with wisdom. Your unicorn is reminding you that soul satisfaction, contentment, and joy are your birthright. So seize this opportunity to release all attachments to all other time frames. Come back to the now. When you have done so, practice living in the now so that each moment becomes a happy, healthy, and love-filled present. A contented or joyful present automatically creates a beautiful future. And you don't even have to plan it. It will inevitably come to you if you choose to enrich the present moment. Remember that unicorns and the angelic realms are supporting you with love. So allow yourself to bathe in the wonder of today, and you will step graciously into a magical tomorrow. I love this. This is beautiful. One of the things that they're bringing back to my mind is I've had a couple times in my life where I've kind of like done this restart in my life where I'm like, I'm tired of doing what I'm doing. I want to do something else and something new. And I sit in the moment going, okay, what's my dream? What do I want to have happen? And then, of course, you have all these things that your ego tells you you're supposed to, your shoulds, your need tos, Someone spiritual is supposed to have, be a best-selling author or be, up in front of people teaching or, blah, 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 whatever those, dreams that we feel from the outside world on who we're supposed to be. And so Spirit took me into the future and said, okay, let's say these are the things you want to have happen. And then they took me to that spot and I felt like I was in it when it all had happened. And they're like, so how are you feeling? And I'm like, well, I'm wondering what's next. And they're like, exactly. If you're not in this moment appreciating, grateful for what you do have in your life and have happiness and joy right now, you won't have it then either, because you'll always be looking to the next then that's in the future, right? So my dream kind of became, my dream is to be here now with the Creator. So be who you are right now, here in this moment, now in this moment, here, in this, sitting at this table, not somewhere down the road, not somewhere else, being here now with the Creator. That's where I find my unconditional love and my joy and my happiness and my wholeness. And if I'm like, yeah, you can be here now. And then tomorrow is going to be magical, because if you're happy now for no reason at all, then you'll be happy tomorrow. And happy after that. There's not this drive to be something more later, or reflecting in the past on how you failed, or, well, I tried this before and it didn't work. This is all about, like I said, disconnecting from all those other time frames, the past and the future, coming to this moment now. So I absolutely love this. And it talks about living in the now. So find a quiet space and close your eyes. Call in unicorn energy and sense a ball of diamond white, sparkling light forming around you. You are rising up in the ball as if in a fast lift or elevator. You are in a high frequency space above your life. Here, there is no past, there is no future, only the magic of now. For an instant, pure unicorn light purifies and illuminates your aura. Anything is possible. Bathe in the moment. And then return to earth and open your eyes. Step into the magic. I love it. And the affirmation for this card: at this moment now, all is well. Beautiful. All right. We're also going to pull some cards here from this Light Seers Tarot. And this is just going to be what the Creator wants you to know about the week before the new moon, the week after the new moon, and 2 weeks after the new moon. I know we're living in the now, but this is going to help you understand, this is the journey, the map that's coming up ahead. You can still live in the now and see, glance forward, but you're not living there. You're just glancing, right? All right. All right, Creator, what do you want our Aquas to know about the week before the new moon, please? Okay, I feel like this is the one here. What about the week after the new moon? Okay, I feel like that one's the one there. And then they said, yeah, that one's the one for 2 weeks after. Okay. So the week before the new moon, you got the Two of Pentacles, and this is a beautiful balance of life. And what's cool about this is that the way I interpret this is our lower human self, this part of ourselves we chose to disconnect from the awareness of how connected we are to everything. And so we feel small and limited and powerless, and feel all those emotions of uncomfortable emotions of fear, rejection and all of that, right? And then you have your higher self, this magical, here you are in that ball, it's almost like that's the ball up there, right? There you are. And that's your higher self, the powerful, supernatural, eternal, limitless spirit being made of unconditional love that you are up here. And there's this, you can see this twine that does it, and it creates this infinity symbol that shows you how you are infinite and you're never ending. And this is a beautiful balance between when we're, too involved in the physical world and the chaos of the outside world full of expectations and disappointment, all the shoulds and need tos and have tos, all that pressure, all the past and all the future, it draws us out into all that to judge the past and fear the future, but this is about bringing and coming back to that balance of like the now, coming back to this beautiful balance of being aware of that there's a world going on in there, but really connecting to this higher place. That's where all the magic comes from, right? Stepping outside of time and space, stepping into the now, stepping into your higher self and your spirit, is really this beautiful message. So if you were going, how is that possible for me to not go into the past or the future and try to stay in this moment? It's about connecting to your higher self in the spiritual realm as much as possible. I even had to set like an alarm on my phone, a vibrating alarm for every hour during like my waking hours. And sometimes I called it breathe. Other times I said, come back to now. Cause I would always, I'd get the alarm, go, that's right, let me breathe and come back to this moment. This moment is where I'm living, and off I went into other, directions, and then the alarm, little vibrating alarm would go off, and that's right, come back to now. Keep coming back, and that makes that our habit, right? So doing something where there's reminders somehow all around you can help you bring you back to the now, back to the now, back to the now. And then you can just do things and be present while you're doing them. Not about, I gotta get this done so I can get on to the next thing. It's about being in the moment, doing that thing, and then doing the next, and then doing the next. And then the week after, we got the Queen of Pentacles. So very much about Mother Nature, Mother Nurture. She knows the worth comes from inside, not from the outside. Nature doesn't try to have things happen. It goes with the flow. It understands. It's this beautiful, it's like the Empress card in the Tarot too. She's usually the number 3. She's about new birth and freshness, and you see how calm and content she is because she knows that things unfold. And talk about, being in the moment. When you go out, get out into nature, this is like a message to get out into nature, because when you do that, doesn't life just kind of slow down, and you're not thinking about, the next thing, the next thing, and the next thing. You're just looking around at the beauty, looking around at things that are, and it really, nature just pulls you out of the past and future into the moment, because that's how nature lives. Nature doesn't go, oh my God, what happened last week or last year or a decade or a century ago, and doesn't worry about tomorrow. It knows that everything's going to unfold perfectly according to the divine, flow of life, and that we have everything we need right inside us, right? When we connect to this higher world, to the Creator, we know that we have everything we need right inside us, because what we're thirsting for and hungering for is the unconditional love of the Creator, unconditional love of back home, because the outside world is conditional, temporary, unstable, because people change, situations never stay the same. People pass away, things break down, deteriorate, burn down, or are stolen. So all that stuff that we define our happiness in life by, those things are unstable. And so if we put our happiness going, I'm happy when, our happiness is unstable. But if you connect to the higher love and make your worth based on that love, the unconditional, eternal love, that is certainly stable, because there's nothing you can do to lose it, because there's unconditional, no conditions to gain it, and nothing you can do to lose it. So when you have that, you have that stability, and you can be in this moment when you do that. What pulls us out into the storm is when we connect to our lower vibration self, the lower love vibration part of us, that is telling us, well, look out, nope, only successful if you do this, or, look at you, you're not you don't even, aren't in a relationship. People don't love you. It's like all this stuff of, that is what causes all that chaotic feeling within us, because that is unstable, like we were talking about. So if you define yourself by the unstable outside world, then you feel unstable. When you define yourself by the inner stable love, then you feel stable, and you can be in the now. All right, and then 2 weeks after, well, you got the Queen and the King of Pentacles. So definitely this beautiful divine masculine and feminine energy, the mother and father of all things, making themselves known for your reading. But definitely they both, since they're at the end of the Pentacles suit, they understand that the journey of your self-worth starts off defining yourself by external things. I mean, you have the all Pentacles here. So this is all about this outside world impact. But they also know that when you focus on gratitude for what is in your life, then that also helps you come back to the moment. Because you are grateful, you're not focusing on lack, you're not focusing on what's not in your life. You're focusing on being grateful for what is in your life. And that brings you back to this moment, because you're not focusing on when all this stuff happens, then I can be happy. You're focusing in on, I'm so happy because look what's in my life right now. Beautiful. I love it. And then lastly, because like I mentioned in the intro, you are this phoenix rising from the ashes, heading into this new journey. We're going to pull a card here from the Cosmic Journey Oracle and just see what else the Creator would like you to know. Beautiful, super new moon in Scorpio energy. All right, Creator, for our Aquarians, what do you want them to know? What's your final message for them for this reading, please? Okay, that one is calling out. That's funny. Coming soon. Welcome to the next ascending age. And it's so funny because this is so bringing it to your face. Look how attracted you are to the what's next, what's coming next, what's coming next. No, come back to the now. There's always a next ascending age. There's always something new coming. There's always something new coming. So it freaks us out too when we focus on the future, because we want to know the unknown. When you define yourself by the outside things, the unknown, the future is scary, because what if something happens that makes me unlovable, but when you are fully firm and stable in that unconditional love, it doesn't matter what comes next, right? When you're living in the now, the next moment is going to be as happy and magical as the current moment, right? If I'm always in the now, full of that magic, full of that love, that unconditional love, and feeling stable, the next moment I'm going to feel that. The next moment I'm going to feel that. It doesn't matter what future moments come. I'm able to be that powerful and have that energy be here with me in this moment. So I am loving that. So we'll read this. It says, it's time to awaken to your role in the next ascending age of evolutionary consciousness of humanity. The ancient prophecies predicted light, eons followed by darkness. This era is a part of approximately 26,000 year cycle that's part of a cycle within greater galactic cycles. Our world is stepping out of a descending age and into an ascending silver age where we'll uncover long hidden gifts and talents. Thank you for being here in this emerging now. Look. Now. Thank you for showing up at the right time. Thank you for who you are becoming. So yeah, thank you for being here in this now moment. And the question it asks, it's the cosmic catalyst that you can ponder. What is my role to play in the greater story unfolding? And the cosmic checkbox is research myths and stories of the great year, it's capital G, great, Y, year, and see if there is a resonance you feel. So definitely, digging into your soul purpose here, but I really feel, this whole thing is about come back to the now. And in the now, in this moment, you can be present and be looking into, what's this ascending age about? This great year. What is that about? I'm just going to read it. And this whole becoming someone else, our human side has these shoulds of who we need to become. But our eternal self is like, no, we don't become anything more than we are. We just become more aware of who we really are. Because when we're in the other side, and we are these powerful, beings, if we're always around light, we don't even realize we're around light because we are always around light. It's like the earth. When you're breathing air, you're always breathing air, and you don't realize you're breathing air until you're not breathing air. Like when you're underwater, and when you're underwater, you're like, oh, wow. Now that I'm under here, I understand that up there above the water is air. And I not only am more appreciative of it, but I'm more aware of what it is. And then when I return back up, I understand the difference between air and no air. So the same thing, we come here, we experience all these opposites of who we are, unconditional love. We don't know what unconditional love is until we experience conditional love. We don't know what this joyful presence is that we're always in until we feel sadness in this realm, and so we chose to disconnect of that awareness of that so we could experience this, so we could contrast it, right? So there's this beautiful, ebb and flow that we go back and forth between. And so it is not without purpose. And we don't, so like I was talking about, we don't become something more. We already are a piece of the creator. We're a drop of the great ocean, right? We're a little mini creator. So what more do we need to become? We just become more aware of who we are through the process. So loving this for you. All right. I'm going to end this reading here. I just want to let you know, too, that I am also monthly, I put out videos for each of the zodiac signs. Also weekly, I do each of the 4 zodiac element signs readings, and I do a couple other readings throughout the month. So if you want to get notified of when those come out as well, if you haven't done so already, if you click on the subscribe button, then what that'll do is make this little bell icon appear, and when you click on that notification bell, then you'll get notified of when the new videos come out. So just know, as you're going throughout this period and each and every day, that you are unconditionally loved by the creator of all things, and I love you too. You have an amazing super new moon, and I'm sure I'll be talking to you soon. You take care.